hungry. Let's hunt.
Ай-яй-яй, конечно. Прямо в начале стрима мне нужно что-то сделать по работе. Да почему нельзя было сделать это до этого? Ай. Ладно, сейчас я просто выложу. Так. О, привет. Взлетаю на мид, летит Кайл за колом. Привет, ждем копика. Привет. Я тут поняла, что я, в принципе, могу уже в сумеру начать задание. В принципе. Так что можем и в сумеру побыть немножко. Мне очень нравится, что тут все зелененькое. Прям. Yes. Так, идти дальше по лесу. Так. Куда? Куда? Куда идти-то? Вот туда. Так, пойдемте. Оба! Yes. Сумеру.
Now that we made it to Sumeru, our next objective should be to head to Sumeru City and find a way to meet with Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Почему она
And
мало
speaking of Lesser Lord
властительница?
Kusanali, even though we haven't heard too much about her, she doesn't seem to be the same deity who abducted your sister.
Ну, вдруг она
But
умеет
even so,
сменять вид.
people call Sumeru the nation of wisdom, you know. If we can get a chance to meet the god of wisdom, maybe she can give us some useful information.
Я тоже так думаю.
But Paimon doesn't know the way to Sumeru City. Maybe we can climb up to that spot with the statue of the Seven on it. That'll give us a way better view of things.
Она
Even if we can't see
озвучивается.
exactly
Вы
where
же
the city
слышите,
is,
она
at
говорит
least we'll
там.
be able to check for some smaller settlements nearby.
Опа.
Wait a second. Look! There's someone up ahead!
И кто там? Я озвучиваю только, когда она не говорит по-английски. Если она говорит по-английски, это меня сбивает.
Now we can just ask for directions rather than wander around like lost adventurers. Hey there!
Nice.
We're not from around here and seem to have gotten a little lost. We'd like to ask for some directions.
Нас просто проигнорили.
Did they not hear Paimon? Hey!
Выруби звук. А как же музыка?
Some directions!
Вы хотите, чтобы я выключила озвучку Paimon? То так вообще можно сделать?
What's going on here? There's no way she could have missed that.
Offensive side-eye. Bombastic side-eye.
How dare she?
Не злись, это не повод для переживаний.
Well, even so, she might be heading someplace where we could find other people to ask. Let's
Чё,
keep our
можно
distance
Paimon
and
вырубить?
follow her. When we get the chance, we'll just ask someone else for directions.
А где? Камон! Всех вырубить? Нет, а всех я не хочу. Я вот только Paimon. Тут я вижу, что голоса. Вот. Нормально.
I keep watch. You leave, you call me.
Выше. Незаметно следуйте за молчаливой прохожей. Где она вообще? Оба. Сейчас придешь, окей?
She just walked near that small waterfall and then suddenly vanished. Let's go take a closer look.
Так вот она идет. Паймон, ты что, слепаешь, что ли?
Paimon thought this cave would lead to a village or something, but it looks like that's not the case. Look, she's sitting over there. Wait, she couldn't possibly be living here, could she?
Что это такое?
What should we do now?
Давай
Do we
попробуем
try
сказать.
asking her for directions again?
Давай не будем ее беспокоить.
It looks like she's meditating or something. If we bother her now, she probably wouldn't let us off very lightly.
Да, сами найдем дорогу, чё мы не привыкать.
Oh! What a lovely smell! It's coming from that sensor over there. This is definitely not your typical place to call home, but at least it smells nice. Maybe living here wouldn't be too bad after all.
Ой, ты чё там куришь, что нас так это накрыло?
Huh? What's the matter? You don't look too good.
Этот запах такой странный.
What? Is the smell making you feel sick? Strange. Paimon doesn't feel anything.
Потому что ты не человек. Я не знаю, что ты такое. Мне нужно выйти срочно. О, привет. Я теряю сознание. Хыдыщ. Нас, короче, накурили.
Traveler, this is no time
Вот
for
она
a nap.
говорит.
Come on.
О, no. Кажется, нас отрубило, да. Я не знаю, что там эта женщина курила, но пиздец нас вырубила. Чего, блин? За каким голосом следовать? Куда идти? Я не могу ничего открыть. Я даже бежать не могу. И прыгать не могу тоже. Что происходит, блин? О, нихуя. Воу. Прыгать по фиолетовым деревьям, конечно. Это сакура? Горячая сакура? Что происходит? Продолжай следовать за голосом. За каким голосом? Я ничего не слышу. Это на сакуру похоже, да. Чё, блин, мир забудет меня? Кого? Что? Все? Мы очнулись?
Are you sure it's not
What?
serious? The traveler's been out for a long time now.
Да, накрыло меня,
Yes,
конечно,
you can
конкретно.
relax.
Believe me, Master is extremely knowledgeable. If he says that he's going to be alright, then there's absolutely nothing to worry
О,
about.
колея.
Oh, are you awake now?
Да.
Oh, thank goodness, traveler, you're finally awake.
Паймон, ты не человек. Что ты такое, блин? Что это за место?
Well, we're at.
Штырево знатно, да.
Good question. Where are we? Paimon was in such a panic when you passed out that she even forgot to ask what place this is.
This is Gandharvaville. It was originally built by scholars from Sumeru as a place to rest in the rainforest. Now it's mainly used by the forest rangers as a base of operations.
Что-то
My name is
морской бог.
Kale. I'm a trainee forest ranger. My master and I found you passed out during our patrol, so we brought you here.
Спасибо за помощь.
Oh, no thanks are necessary. I didn't do anything really. By the way, how are you feeling now?
Нет, все хорошо, но во рту горький привкус.
Oh,
Я
that's
за что
Master's
рад.
herbal medicine you're tasting. He gave you some while you were unconscious.
Классно, напоили еще
Before I
чем-то.
forget, Master mentioned you should take more medicine once you wake up.
Что это за лекарство? Почему я должна его принимать? Звучит подозрительно.
Whoops!
Ты серьезно его уронила?
Kale, what's the matter? Were you trying to retrieve the medicine? As I've already told you, you must be
О.
careful with these.
Ушастый.
I'll get it for you once I am finished here.
Sorry, Master.
Now, The guide to Avidia Forest's edible fungi is clearly posted on our bulletin board, but if Farbode forgets which mushrooms to avoid one more time, I'll have no choice but to leave the guide somewhere a little more visible. Like right smack on his forehead so others can remind him to be careful.
Грибы на лбу.
Right? This is the
Класс.
second time he's come down with food poisoning this month. I'll be sure to give him a good talking
Чувак
to.
просто хочет поесть
Yes,
грибов. Чё
please do.
пристали?
If on the off chance Farbode simply enjoys having little imaginary fairies dance before his eyes, then we'll just let him be. But the next time he requires any of our
Я
medicine,
же говорю, он просто
be
хотел
sure
грибы
to
съесть,
charge him
чтобы его
accordingly.
шторнуло. Фиолетово грибов. Здравствуйте, ушастая.
So, how are you doing? Feeling better?
Ну,
Oh,
как
this is my
сказать?
master, Forest Watcher Tainari. He's chief officer over all the rangers here in Gandharville.
I already informed Paimon about the reason you fell unconscious earlier.
Ну, давай.
But now that you're awake, let me explain it for you as well. It is common practice for Sumeru scholars of certain darshans to dedicate themselves to training in meditation in isolated areas,
вот как теперь это
particularly
называется,
the
да?
nearby forests.
Конечно.
While meditating, they use a certain incense known as spirit borneal to help
Накуриваются они
calm their
там,
minds
да.
as they enter a state of deep rumination.
Да-да-да, чтобы
In hopes of
медитацию
asking
выйти,
directions,
конечно.
you two followed a scholar named Hypatia into her cave.
Да,
The
да.
incense you smelled inside was the
Тигна-
spirit borneal I just
тиграние.
mentioned. That incense typically has no effect on most people, but for a very select few, it can have
избранный.
profound effects on one's cognition, as you experienced firsthand.
Да, теперь понятно.
Very good. Now, answer me this. Did you feel anything after passing out? Say, any out-of-body experiences, or did you see anything while unconscious?
Да, там было дерево фиолетовое. И типа падало, и кто-то такой типа: они забудут меня. Да, примерно так. Как тебе? Рассказ хороший?
Kale, let the others know to stop bringing their patrol logs here for now.
Huh? Why?
Because these two will be staying here for the next few days. They can have my room and I'll bunk with Amir. Now get a move on and be sure to do as I've said.
Yes, Master Tainari.
Рассказ просто пушка. Я старалась.
Wait, hold on a second. Can you tell us what's going on?
Sure, let me fill you in. I originally planned to send you on your way once you finished your medicine. However, it appears now that you should stay a while longer in Gandharville for further observation while you recuperate.
Further
С
observation?
призраком копиков тебя не сомневаюсь. Но мне нужно в Сумеру.
No need to be hasty. As long as you have the capacity to judge between right and wrong, I promise that you'll understand the gravity of the situation once I explain everything to you. Based on what you saw after smelling the incense and losing consciousness,
В Турцию
we can
надо.
conclude that you experienced a powerful hallucination, which suggests your mental state is not in the best of shape. If you're skeptical,
Не
have a whiff of this.
Не нюхай. Тебе предлагает какой-то незнакомый чел понюхать что-то, блин. Ох.
Oh, are you okay?
You're experiencing a similar sensation as when you passed out, aren't you?
Еще бы, потому
So
что я
even
понюхал
though your
что-то.
condition is stable
Нюхай
as
клей.
of now, if I were to haphazardly let you leave, it's highly likely that you'd suddenly pass out again somewhere else. The rainforest is home to many fierce animals and hazardous areas. If something were to happen to you again, I'm afraid you might not be so lucky. For now, I suggest you continue taking your medicine each day and avoid wandering off on your own, at least until you stop having adverse reactions to this kind of smell. Okay?
Хорошо.
Good. Now, continue resting while I fire up another bowl of medicine for you.
Нанюхались мы.
Seriously? We just arrived in Sumeru and we're already having problems left and right. Paimon knows we're set on meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali as soon as possible, but you really don't look too good. It'd probably be best to let you
Я
recover
думаю, что его так
first.
вштырило. Потому что он нанюхался.
Are you even listening to Paimon? Paimon's over here worrying about you, you know.
Я странно себя чувствую.
What's weird? You mean how you're feeling now?
С моим телом что-то не так, но это не были
You
галлюцинации.
mean the vision of tree roots and red skies you saw? But if those weren't hallucinations, What could they be?
Я не знаю. В тот момент у меня было ощущение, что я нахожусь глубоко под землей, и там было красное небо. Может, это была Кенриар?
Considering how unique you are, Paimon trusts your judgment here.
Особенный.
But why didn't you say anything about it to Tainari?
Но он подумал бы, что мы
If you
чокнулись.
misjudged your condition, then there's a chance you could get worse, right?
Не думаю, что он ошибся. Он просто не говорит правду. Не думаю, что он ошибся.
You mean that Tainari already knows that what you saw weren't hallucinations? But if that's the case, why would he try to hide that from us?
Нам надо докопаться до сути.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. That explains why you were so quiet earlier. Well, that settles it then. We'll stay here to rest up and figure out what's going on with your hallucinations. But it seems like asking Tainari might not be an option anymore. What do you think we should do?
Поговорить с Калеей.
Good idea. Kale's pretty friendly. We can ask her tomorrow about what she knows regarding the Dendro Archon and customs in Sumeru.
Вы всю ночь отдыхаете в комнате.
Rise and shine! Come on, it's time to go find Kale!
Ну давайте пройдемся по этому красивому месту. Красиво же, правда? Ну красиво. Ладно, все хорошо. Быстро вбежал в
All
касцену.
right, next let's see your right hand. Not bad. But please remember that you still need to be careful,
Белка.
understand?
Yes, I will. By the way, Master, I still haven't received the patrol route for today.
Look, Kale, today's patrol will be a long one, so you won't be coming along this time. Besides, there's a chance we may encounter... Well, you understand.
Отшила
But I
его.
have a vision too! Am I useless to everyone now?
Нет, конечно, ты мне зажигаешь тотемы. Ты же дендролучник.
Don't talk like that, Kale. This is not something you need to be worrying about right now. Ah, there you are. Feeling any better?
Ну, типа того. Нужна помощь?
Yeah, since we'll be staying here for now, we thought we might as well try lending a hand around here.
Seems you're not the type to sit back and take it easy for a while, huh? In that case, perhaps Kale could take you two for a patrol south of Gandharvaville for the day. And if you're feeling up to it, you can be responsible for cleaning the statue of the Seven.
Привет. О, опять мы будем уборщиками. Ну,
Tainari,
ладно.
we're ready to head out.
Got it! I'll be right there! Alright, we'll be heading into the forest now. I'll leave any further details to Kale.
Yes, you can count on me.
Она звучит как Эмбер.
So, Kale, what exactly are we going to be doing today?
Будем уборщиками,
Tainari
конечно.
mentioned cleaning the statue just now, but, that doesn't really sound like the job for a ranger.
Well, a forest ranger's responsibilities can be pretty diverse. They handle a variety of tasks, like checking the condition of outlying roads, maintaining forest facilities, ensuring fire prevention standards are met, and providing assistance to travelers and locals. As for Master, well, he has to handle more dangerous areas of the rainforest. Today we can perform routine checks on the pathway lamps as we make our way to the Statue of the Seven.
А, ну еще электриками будем. Кайф.
Paimon, traveler, this way!
Идите сюда.
You
Куда?
can leave the task of checking the lamps to me.
Я проверю
In the
уличные
meantime,
фонари, вы
you
можете
two can keep an
посмотреть,
eye
все ли
out
в
for anything
порядке.
unusual.
Ага. Выше? Какого выше-то, ёмана? Всегда то, по крайней мере, для меня. Ниже.
Nothing wrong with these two lamps.
Так, эти
Let's
два
move to
фонаря
the
в
next
порядке.
ones.
Пойдемте проверим фонари.
Oh, this
Этот
lamp
фонарь
seems to
немного
be getting a
шатается,
little
нужно
wobbly.
записать.
Let me make a note of it.
Отлично, с этим
problems with
фонарем
this
все
lamp.
тоже в порядке. Статуя 7 архонтов, окей. А, я не успела собрать цветок.
The Statue of the
Здрасте.
Seven is up on top of that large rock formation. You must have seen it when you came down this road before.
О, да, я ее
It's
уже
pretty high
открыла.
up there, isn't it?
Да.
Don't worry. If you're afraid you can't make it up there, I'm sure Master wouldn't mind if you don't clean the
Я
statue.
чемпион по скалолазанию.
Oh?
Вообще-то.
I guess I'll leave it up to you then. There's not much footing once you reach the statue, so be
Да,
careful up there.
Сумеру.
Paimon will fly up with you and help you with those hard-to-reach areas.
Сумеру.
By the way, Kale, do you know anything about the Dendro Archon? You know, what's she like?
That depends. Are you referring to Greater Lord
в
Rukadevata or
смысле
Lesser
две?
Lord Kusanali?
Greater Lord Rukadevata?
Рукакахадавата.
Is that the
Нифига
name of
себе.
the former Dendro Archon?
Uh-huh. Greater Lord
Ага,
Rukadevata
она
was
сказала
Sumeru's
ага.
first Dendro Archon. She created the rainforest as well as the wall of Samiel around the desert. Her works provided a means of peaceful living for everyone.
У
To the
меня все
people of
хорошо,
Sumeru,
если что, я хотя не
she's
чат.
not only a symbol of wisdom, but also of power and kindness. Unfortunately, she disappeared in a great calamity that occurred a few hundred years ago.
Это было во времена как Райден Макотто.
According to what Masters told me, the sages later found the newly born Dendro Archon and whisked her back to Sumeru. To celebrate the reinstatement of their lost deity, the sages dubbed her Lesser Lord Kusanali and let her reside in the sanctuary of Siristana.
Uh-huh. Then what happened?
Well, and then... I'm not
Они
too sure
тупо
what
нашли нового
happened, to be
архонта.
honest.
Как они это сделали?
You're not too sure?
Они похитили
Aren't
ребенка.
you from Sumeru?
О, привет, Коя.
Yeah, I'm from Sumeru.
Спасибо.
But-
Тебя тоже.
Maybe it's difficult to discuss this topic with strangers. If that's the case, then don't worry, we understand.
No, it's not that. I'm not trying to hide something from you. Besides, I don't consider you two strangers.
О, мы не чужаки.
Because you two know Amber, right?
Да. Да.
Wait, Amber? You mean...
Эмбер Скаути Орд оф Авониус, чемпионе полетов из Манштата.
Yes, that's her. I once lived in Mondstadt for a while, and she helped me a lot during that time.
Вот почему вы
You could
похожи.
even say that she helped me become a new person. There's no one like Amber. She lives life to the fullest while always adhering to her strong sense of
Да,
justice.
поэтому она мне
She's
не
ready to answer the
нравится.
call for
Она
action at
позитивная
any
слишком.
moment, but is also very understanding of others. She's like the spark that lights the fire in everyone's heart around her.
Мне очень нравится ее
If you ask
дизайн.
me, she's a prime example of a true outrider. She's the first person anyone coming to Mondstadt will meet.
Вот, правда
You
говорю.
can't help but be enthralled by her charm and enthusiasm, causing you to fall in love with the lands of Mondstadt and...
Она тебе нравится.
Sorry.
Так вот оно как. Спасибо.
Paimon thought the work of Outriders was a little different from what you just described, but one thing's for sure, you really like Amber.
Sorry. I was rambling on just now. It must have sounded kind of weird.
Да нет, было мило.
It's alright, Kale.
Да,
Knowing that you're a friend
подруга,
of
конечно.
Amber somehow makes Paimon suddenly feel a lot closer to you. So, how do you know that we've met Amber?
Действительно.
Well, after I returned to Sumeru, Amber and I have stayed in touch by writing each other letters. In one letter, she mentioned that Mondstadt was attacked by a fearsome dragon, but the city was saved by a mysterious blonde traveler and their floating companion. I knew you two were the ones she mentioned in the letter the moment I saw you. But, considering everything you've been through that day, I thought it'd be inappropriate to bring it up.
So
Вообще...
that's how you knew.
Было бы прикольно, если бы мы
So
перекрасили
please know
волосы, и
that
все
you two have my
такие...
complete trust.
Кто
Really.
ты?
I
Мы не
wish I
знаем,
could
кто
tell you
ты.
more about the Dendro Archon, but I have been away from Sumeru for some time, and I haven't read any books. Sorry.
Мы сами разберемся, ничего страшного.
That's alright. You've already helped us a lot. We had never even heard of Greater Lord Rukadevata or the Sanctuary of Suristana until you
Как
mentioned
ты
them.
запоминаешь эти
Oh,
названия?
I'm happy that was helpful. There is one thing I want to ask, though. Why do you two want to know about the Dendro Archon?
Вы вкратце рассказываете Кале о цели своего путешествия.
So that's why you're here. Thank you for telling me your story.
Да, мы ищем Луку.
Don't mention it. We are friends after all, right?
Пайман все правильно говорит.
All right, we have a statue to clean.
You both have my thanks. While you two are up there cleaning, I'll go ahead and inspect the forest canopy. Let's meet back here shortly.
Так, взберитесь на вершину скалы. А там есть точечки, которые я могу телепортнуться? Вот это я скалолаз, конечно, да, вообще.
Huh. Now that Paimon looks at it, the deity that's carved on the statue is kinda small.
Ну, вообще-то, очень
Do you think
маленькая.
she's supposed to be Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Наверное, малая властительница
The
Кусунави.
name does seem to fit the statue somehow. Well, anyway, we'll have to figure that out later.
А что чистить надо? Вроде она нормально
Let's get
выглядит.
started on cleaning the statue. Paimon will fly up and take care of the top, and you clean everything below.
Вау, память действительно полезная. Вы с Паймой тщательно очистили статую. Надо же.
Nice work. That's one clean statue. Let's head down and meet up with Kale.
Я не в ту сторону. Вот в эту. О, она присела на пенечек. Здрасте.
Kale, we're back.
Вот это резко стемнело, однако.
Welcome back. You must be tired after all that climbing.
О, да, я
Let's
так
take a
много
little
лазила.
break. I brought some
Конечно.
fruit and water for us.
О, еда.
Yay, food! What kind of goodies did you bring?
Пайман, держи себя в руках.
Hey, don't be a party pooper. It's not like Kale is a stranger or anything. Besides, the best way to compliment a chef is to show passion for their food.
Да,
Xiangling
да.
taught Paimon that.
Пайман
I prepared a nice
всегда
portable
думает о
dish
еде,
that forest
Канон.
rangers like to eat called pita pockets. I hope you'll like them.
Пита?
Whoops!
Почему ты все роняешь?
You dropped it on the ground.
Быстрее поднимите, 3
Not to
секунды и
worry.
можно есть.
I wrapped a few layers of oiled paper around each pita. They should be fine.
Почему ты все роняешь?
Paimon nearly had a heart attack there.
У нее что-то с рукой или что такое? И просто... А, вы трапезничаете с скале. Ее просто руку осматривали, она все
These are
роняет.
amazing. You're quite the cook, Kale.
Пита, по-моему, это
Thank goodness
лепешка
you wrapped them
просто.
in paper. Paimon wouldn't have been able to sleep at night knowing something so tasty had been wasted.
You really know how to compliment the chef, Paimon. Since you liked it so much, I'll be sure to give you a copy of the recipe
А,
sometime.
рецепт.
I'll even include all my
Yes.
personal cooking pointers, so you'll be making your own pita pockets in no time.
Yay! Thanks, Kale. It's hard to believe someone as diligent as you could have clumsy moments too.
Oh, I guess it happens from time to time.
So, Kale, don't you think that Tainari's a little too strict with you? He won't let you touch anything without his permission. Paimon knocks stuff over all the time flying around the traveler, but he's never said anything. Everyone has their clumsy
Пупа
moments.
такой, типа, слышь, ты опять что-то
No, you've
перевернула.
got the wrong idea about Master. Sure, he may seem a bit harsh at first, but with some time, you'll see that he's actually very kind-hearted. I've heard the veteran rangers say that Master is from some ancient and mysterious race that is known for their cunning wit and reclusive nature. But Master is actually very kind at heart.
Ага.
By the way, you've heard of the Academia, right? Well, there's a group called...
Ам,
Boo something? Well, anyway, because Master does a lot of research on plants, sages from the Academia have written him many times, inviting him to take up an official position there. But Master declines their offers every time, saying, Sumeru City is too noisy. It'd be bad for my ears.
уши. Его уши наверняка очень приятно гладить.
I know, right? They've always
Приближение.
wanted to pet them too.
Ясно.
Anyway, Master could have easily left the rainforest to take up a position at the Academia, but he chose to stay here instead as a forest watcher, helping the locals every day and passing on his knowledge to trainees. In fact, Master's the one who taught me how to make pita pockets.
О,
Really?
ну калинар.
Paimon would have never guessed that. Oh, speaking of Tainari, he was the one who took care of you after finding you passed out yesterday. He even carried you all the way here. Paimon's still kinda upset, though. He kept scolding Paimon the entire way here.
Что ты натворила?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Master might have been overreacting a little. But, it's mostly because Paimon wouldn't stop yelling, "Why, oh why? Is he going to die?" It probably started to get under Master's skin after a while.
Пайман.
Hey! Don't laugh! Paimon was genuinely concerned about you.
Ну просто такая, он что, умрет? Он умрет! Он правда умрет! Вот.
Hey! Now even Kali started to laugh. Ugh, that's it! Paimon won't forget this. It's time for some Paimonial wrath!
Страшно. Что ты сделаешь? А,
No! Don't touch me!
господи. Ты где ее трогаешь? Калей, что с тобой?
Sorry, Kale. Paimon didn't mean to scare you.
No, I just...
Ты чё?
I didn't mean that.
Kale, are you okay? What's the matter?
No, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I
Кто
must have
тебя
startled you both
обидел?
reacting like that.
Ее кто-то обидел до этого.
Well, it's getting late now. Let's hurry back to Gandharvaville. I think Master and the others should be back by now too.
Так реагирует, когда кто-то тебя отпиздил. И ты потом такой, типа, нет, не трогай меня.
Huh?
Ха.
What was up with Kale just now? And why is she in such a hurry all of a sudden? Look, she's practically running back. Paimon can't even see her now.
Я не люблю, когда меня трогают незнакомые люди. И мало знакомые. Но так сильно я, конечно, не реагирую.
Ah, traveler. You've returned.
Yep, we're back. Have you seen Kale by any chance?
Oh, Kale? Yes. I saw her go into her room just a moment ago.
Oh, okay. Guess we'll just have to wait and talk to her tomorrow then.
Что ж, Пайман, что ты наделала? Ты зачем это сделала? Она от нас свалила теперь. Я, между прочим, озвучила Пайман чуть-чуть. Я надеюсь, что все этим довольны.
Paimon was thinking all night about what happened with Kale, and still can't figure out what the problem might be. Maybe she's in a better mood now. Let's go check on her.
О, здорово, Тигнари.
Ah, it's you two. I was just about to go look for you.
Huh? Tainari? What are you doing here? Where's Kale?
I came to check on Kale's condition. To put it simply, she's not well.
You mean she's sick?
Пайман озвучила победа.
Oh, wait a minute. Could it be because of what Paimon did yesterday?
No need to worry. Something as small as you could never harm her. This sickness is something that Kale has been dealing with for some time. Kale has been more excited than usual since you two arrived. A little too much so, to be honest. She hasn't remembered to take care of herself. I suppose it's understandable, though. She hasn't been around anyone she considered a friend for some time now. It must have been refreshing for her to have you two here.
So, Tainari, what's really wrong with Kale?
Действительно.
Let's take this conversation elsewhere. Kale just fell asleep after taking her
Думала
medicine.
побить рекорд
She needs
урона
some
или хотя
peace
бы
and
бездну
quiet.
пройти. Ну, а что значит побить рекорд урона? Бездну я потихонечку прохожу. По чуть-чуть, потихоньку. Мне больше сюжет интересен, чем урон и так далее.
All right, let's continue our conversation here, shall we? To be honest, I hadn't realized you're that honorary knight from Mondstadt until Kale told me just now. I've also heard all about your deeds in Liyue and Inazuma. So just to clarify, what I'm about to tell you about Kale is not because of who you are or your past feats. Instead, I am going to tell you because, well, because Kale asked me to. And honestly speaking, I was against Kale revealing her past to you.
Ой, да ладно.
But she insisted, saying you two treated her with sincerity and as a friend. So now she wishes to reciprocate the gesture.
So, Tainari, what exactly is wrong with Kale? You said this is something she's been dealing with for some time. Just how serious is it?
Right. Ever since she was a child, she's been afflicted with a
Elazar?
disease called Elazar.
Что такое?
Yes. It's a disease unique to the lands of Sumeru. It is characterized by dark and hardened scales that form on the body.
Она в
At
змею
first,
превращается.
the afflicted may only feel mild numbness on affected areas of the skin. However, as the disease progresses, one may begin feeling fatigued and even experience peripheral paresthesia. In its final stages, the disease strips a person of the ability to control their own body, and they
Жесть.
effectively become completely immobile.
Вау.
That sounds terrifying.
Не может управлять своим телом.
Wait, hold on. So when Kale seemed to be acting a little clumsy earlier, it was because...
Correct. That would be the effects of Elazar, which is precisely why I do not want her carrying or holding anything,
Это болезнь
lest she ends
лечится?
up... With appropriate treatment, the disease can be effectively controlled before it progresses to a more serious stage. However,
Типнаре.
there is unfortunately still no
Пока
true cure for
нормально,
Elazar.
пока не знаю.
Nevertheless, Kale's mother still hoped that there was something out there. She handed Kale over to an organization
Она
known as the
Фатуи
Fatui after
передала
one of their
её.
members lied and said they had a cure.
Ёбана.
Fatui?
Ah, it appears you already are familiar with them. That'll save me some explanation.
Что они с ней
Anyway.
сделали?
The person who eventually rescued Kale and brought her to me for care said that she had been given to a harbinger known as the Doctor. I have no idea how this doctor managed to do it, but her case of Elazar was completely stable for all the years that Kale was with them.
Чё?
However, Kale's days with the Fatui were anything but pleasant. Kale is a resilient individual and always tries to appear cheerful, but her experience with the Fatui has left deep scars.
Что они
Even
делали
now,
с ней?
she can still feel deathly afraid of someone touching her.
Oh, Paimon had no idea Kale's been through so much suffering.
Oh, by the way, Paimon, Kale wanted me to tell you that she's sorry for scaring you yesterday. She also wanted both of you to know that she's sorry for hiding her
Посчитаю,
illness.
сколько раз ты поменяешь взгляд на
She
Тигнаре.
doesn't need to apologize.
Пока у меня
None
нейтральное
of this is her
отношение.
fault at all.
Well said. I hope you'll get a chance to tell her that in person the next time you see her. Kale once thought that it would be impossible for her to have any real friendships. I trust that you two will never let my trainee experience such emotional pain again.
Да нет, конечно, ты
Don't
чё?
worry, Tainari. We'll take good care of her.
В каком состоянии сейчас
Well,
она?
it's not too serious at this point. She overexerted herself the last couple of days, which is what led her to break down this time. As long as she has taken her medicine and gets plenty of rest, she should get better. Though I must admit that Kale's condition was much more stable when she first arrived here in Gandharvaville. She was interested in the work of the forest rangers the moment she saw us. I could see that she was serious about learning,
Значит,
so I
пока
felt compelled to ask her to join us.
Пока она была с Фатуей, ее состояние было стабильно. Как только она их покинула, ее состояние ухудшилось. Мгм.
Her stamina has gotten much worse recently. Though a moderate amount of physical exercise is always necessary, I'm afraid the long-distance patrols are a little too much for her now. Alright, now that I've told you about Kale's past, I think I'll head into the rainforest to find some ingredients needed for her medicine.
Можно нам с
I'll see
тобой?
you.
Yeah, we'd like to do something to help Kale too.
Alright, but I must warn you two. The rainforest is a dangerous place, especially for someone who's still recovering, like the Traveler. You must follow closely and listen to every instruction.
No problemo.
Let's go then. We'll be looking for a plant known as the Nilot Pala Lotus. It's often used to help those afflicted with Elazar recover their energy.
Hey, Tainari?
Тигнарий, где нам искать растения?
Nilot Pala Lotuses
Так,
can be
лотос
found all over the
широко
rainforest,
распространен в тропическом
but it often
лесу,
grows right
окрестности
here around Gandarvaville.
крупнейшего района произрастания. Судя по названию, его нужно искать в
It sounds
воде.
like we should be looking for it in the water.
You are correct.
Верно, лотос
The
не
Nilot Pala
водное
Lotus
растение,
grows in the
которое
water.
выглядит как большой
When
глупый
fully
цветок,
matured, they
плавающий
look
на
like
поверхности
giant blue
воды. Он сразу
flowers floating
бросается
on
в
the water's
глаза.
surface. Quite an attractive species, if you ask me.
Да,
The large
но на
petals are
самом деле у
actually
него
the
очень
plant's
маленькие
leaves and sepals,
цветки, а
which
то, что
surround
он
a very
цветки,
small
листья и
flower.
чашечки.
You should note that many of the plants found in Sumeru have names that are contrary to their species. Take the Calpulata, for example. The plant is not a lotus at all, but rather a vine. And then there's the Sumeru rose, which is not a rose, and is completely contrary to its name.
Oh, huh. Okay then.
Да, точно.
Never bring up the topic of flowers with Tainari.
Когда я читаю русский поверх английского, я не запоминаю, что они говорят вообще. Я только что попробовала. Потому что мой мозг обрабатывает одновременно слишком много информации. Типа я понимаю, что они говорят на английском, при этом я читаю на русском, слежу за субтитрами. Да.
Don't waste my time.
Типа, если ты не понимаешь английский язык, то тебе нормально читать параллельно с ним. Но если ты его понимаешь, то твой мозг параллельно с этим переводит то, что ты слышишь. И из-за того, что ты говоришь по-русски, твой мозг нифига не усваивает
There
информацию.
should be Nilot Pala lotuses growing somewhere in this area.
По идее, я могу
Let's split
включить,
up and
конечно,
begin searching.
китайскую озвучку.
If you could manage to gather 4 of them, that would be sufficient.
Или
We'll
японскую.
rendezvous here once you've gathered the needed amount.
Ну, мне кажется, я буду быстрее уставать так на стримах, если я буду все время озвучивать.
Alright, we've gathered enough Nilot Pala lotuses. Let's head back to meet Tainari.
Ну, я еще чуть-чуть собрала на всякий случай.
Hey Tainari, we found the lotuses you requested.
Let me have a look. Good. Very good. These are all excellent quality. I'm glad you two came along. Your exploration experience helped save me a lot of time here. It seems we even have enough time to stock up on other things I need.
Hey, Tainari!
Опа. Что случилось? Зачем он вам нужен? Почему такая длинная пауза?
Someone's calling your name. They're dressed like a forest ranger.
Да ты что, Пайман?
Yes, that's Amir and the others. But didn't they just set off not too long ago? What are they doing back so early? Let's go find out what's going on.
Мне кажется, что-то случилось, и я надеюсь, это случилось не с Калеей.
Tainari, thank goodness we found you here. We were just about to head back and find you at Gandarvaville.
What's going on?
We just discovered a withering zone.
О, видание, знаю такие.
The withering is back? But the patrol route you were on should have been already cleared just a week ago. It reappeared so quickly. Can you tell me the exact location?
It's up ahead, deep in the river valley. It's appeared in a spot that blocks nearly the entire narrow part of the valley area, so we decided to come find you as quickly as possible.
And the radius of the contamination?
Sorry. I couldn't get a clear enough view to tell.
No one in our patrol team had a vision, and it appeared to still be spreading. So we didn't risk getting any closer.
Okay, I understand. You made the right decision. I'll go deal with it right away. In the meantime, please guide these two back to Gandharvaville.
Мы с тобой пойдем.
Canary, why don't you let us help you?
You two have only just arrived in Sumeru. You're still unfamiliar with many things in these lands. There's a unique type of anomaly that occurs in the Sumeru rainforest. It's called the withering.
Я знаю, я уже 100 тысяч
The
раз
affected
разобралась
areas
с
not
ними.
only cause nearby vegetation to wither, but it's also lethal to wildlife and even people. If you don't carry a vision, then you should think twice before approaching such places.
Ну, у меня
Yes,
типа глаза бога
Amir is
есть.
absolutely right. I wasn't kidding when I said the rainforest is a dangerous place. As Amir said, only someone with a vision, that is, the power to manipulate elements, will be able to resist the withering's corrosive effects for a time.
Я могу
That's
стихиями
right. If any
управлять.
of the forest rangers without a vision come across a withering zone, we first make a record of the location and then have a ranger with the proper abilities deal with it, like Tainari here. Only someone with a vision can venture within a withering zone and find a way to deal with it.
Я тоже умею управлять элементами.
But you don't seem to carry a vision.
Ну и что, вы его не
Don't
видите
worry,
просто.
he may not have a vision, but he's a real pro at using the power of the elements.
Seems the rumors about you were true then. In that case, all right, you two may accompany me.
Эй, пойдем с ним. Нам дадут его на пробу, интересно?
We typically only teach visitors how to identify the withering as they're about to leave Gandharvaville. We'll make an exception today and show you what it looks like up close.
Хорошая экскурсия. Хроническая болезнь. Выше.
Stop. Don't move any further. Look there, in the distance.
Where? Oh, look! Those plants have withered. That whole area is kinda gloomy. Even the air looks like it's filled with ash. Oh, Paimon doesn't like the look of this.
That is the withering. All right, traveler. We're gonna have to enter that withering zone.
Oh,
Once
привет,
inside,
котик.
we'll need to look for what we call tumors of the withering. If we eliminate those, then the area will be saved.
Я пойду с тобой.
Thank you. But I must warn you, don't push yourself. This is your first time handling this sort of thing, after all. Even with elemental powers, once you step inside the withering zone, you may experience extreme discomfort. If at any point it becomes too much, return outside the zone and take a breather. It could become a matter of life and death. You ready then? Let's go.
Окей, let's go.
First, we must locate any branches sustaining the withering zone. Great work. Now that all the branches have been cleared, we'll need to take care of the tumor.
Teamwork is out. Let's light it up.
Now, destroy the tumor of the withering.
We did it! Everything's returning to normal now.
Yes.
Вот это
Thanks
измена
to you two,
расследования в
we were
чате.
able to quickly restore this area back to normal.
Tainari? You make it sound like we did well, but why does Paimon have the feeling you're worried about something?
It's that obvious, huh? Alright. It's like this. Recently, the rate at which withering zones appear has been increasing. Even though we were able to quickly clear that withering zone, it won't be long before another one appears. If that simply meant more work for me, then that wouldn't be an issue. But it's far more severe than that. The withering is leaving lasting effects on the rainforest itself. For instance, even though we cleared out the withering zone, many of the plants that were affected will not recover. This presents a crisis for the ecosystem itself. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline, directly impacting the wildlife that depends on those plants. And most disturbingly, as the appearances of withering zones have started to increase, Kale's case of Elazar has also become more serious.
Huh? But why's that?
I'm still not sure of the exact reason. However, I've received word from acquaintances at the academia that similar cases are being reported for patients with other conditions.
Неужели нет способа искоренить зону увядания?
No, none that we know of. The withering has been recorded in Sumeru for millennia. It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. Oh, by the way, have you heard of Irminsul before?
Нет.
Irminsul is a tree located deep beneath the surface. Although it isn't like any tree we know in a biological sense, you can basically think of it as a large tree that grows downwards rather than upwards. I'm sure you've heard of ley lines, right? They're like the roots of Irminsul, spreading and extending from a massive cavern deep underground all the way up to the surface.
Пересекает землю, огромное пространство. Похоже на то, что я видел, когда потерял сознание. Да.
Ley lines continually absorb the memories of this world, which are then funneled into Irminsul, allowing it to collect knowledge and wisdom from ancient times to present day. The Dendro Archon is known as the god of wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it. It is also said that the Dendro Archon's power is a manifestation of Irminsul. And as for the withering, its emergence is related to a disease that's affecting it.
Ирминсуль болен?
That's right. My ancestors learned of this from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's familiars a long time ago, but even those mysterious creatures did not know of a cure for Irminsul. I'm afraid we rangers will be battling the withering zones here for a long time, until a cure is found. Alright, that's enough on this topic for the time being. Now that we've taken care of things here, it's time for us to head back to Gandharvaville.
Ну, давайте вернемся.
Oh, Tainari, you all made it back. How did it go?
The withering zone you reported has been taken care of. No need to worry. Huh? Wait, is that?
Это тукан?
Oh no. Hypatia!
Что?
Huh? What's wrong, Tainari?
This duskbird is Hypatia's designated courier for urgent news. You do remember her, don't you? She's the scholar you and Paimon were following when you first arrived in
Да,
Sumeru.
которая нас накурила.
Oh, her? How could we forget? So did something happen?
Let me see what's written in the letter first.
So what's it say? And what's with that weird expression on your face? Just let Paimon read it. Huh? All Paimon sees are 3 squiggly lines.
Yes. Allow me to explain. After we brought you from Hypatia's cave to Gandharvaville, Hypatia resumed her meditation. She must have just finished. It's been nearly 3 days since she's had anything to eat, and it appears she's forgotten to prepare some rations. This letter is her asking us for help. We need to go.
Принести еды?
What? You mean she's been sitting there for 3 days? Hey, wait, how did you know all that from just a few lines on the paper?
Well, obviously because this has happened before. Last time she drew 5 lines, and by the time we found her... Well, I'd prefer not to remember that. Needless to say, Hypatia's been through worse, but we should still get to her as quickly as possible. I've got some emergency rations set aside for times like these. Paimon, Traveler, could you two bring these to her?
Wait, you want us to bring her the rations? But will the Traveler be okay if her cave is still filled with that funny incense?
Let's find out. Here, Traveler,
Опять
take a
понюхать
smell
дают
and see.
что-то. Да что ж такое-то?
So, how do you feel?
Легкий аромат свежести. Клея.
You're not feeling even a little drowsy? But wait, how'd you know that he'd be okay this time, Tainari?
Back when we were clearing the Withering Zone, I observed that he could adeptly manipulate the Dendro element. I knew then that he would be fine. And if I may ask, when I was telling you two about Irminsol's ley lines, was what I described similar at all to what you saw when you were unconscious?
Это были не просто галлюцинации, да?
That's correct. Those weren't hallucinations at all, though I don't intend to apologize for deceiving you.
Нормально.
Because what you saw is of significant importance. Not just for the nation of Sumeru, but the entire world of Tevat. My forefathers were shown much favor by Greater Lord Ruka Devata. We took an oath to protect this nation together with her. Now that that duty has fallen to me, it was a part of my responsibilities to ascertain whether you could be entrusted with the fate of Sumeru. Now, after seeing you in action with my own eyes, you have earned my confidence, and I no longer feel the need to hide any secrets from you.
Что именно я видел?
When you passed out, your consciousness had connected directly with Irminsul. What you witnessed were actually real memories contained within Irminsul itself. I could try to tell you more, but it would be better if you went to ask Hypatia instead. Her focus on meditation and use of Spirit Borneal are aimed at establishing a connection with Irminsul, just as you did.
That sounds nice and all, but will she really help us? Seriously, she completely ignored us the last time we tried talking to her.
That was because when you ran into her, she was in a special phase of her training. During that time, she must avoid communicating with others. Please, wait here for a moment.
Я могу также говорить, что у меня особая тренировка, и мне не надо общаться с людьми. Чтобы не общаться с людьми. Было бы классно. К тебе подходит человек, и ты такой, nope, и не общаешься с ним. И такой, это особая тренировка.
Here, take these. It's a meal I packed for Hypatia, as well as some other ingredients. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Also, here's a letter that I would like you to give to her. Just show it to her, and she'll answer any questions you may have.
Собака там ест с земли просто. Спасибо.
No, I should be the one thanking you. You've both been a great help these last few days.
Ну, давайте. Блюдо Тигнары и письмо. А что за испытание? Кадзухи-то.
Hypatia should still be in the cave.
Хайпайся должна быть до сих пор в пещере. Давай войдем и посмотрим, как она. Ну, давайте. А ее тут нет.
Hello? Hypatia? Hey, there's nobody here. Maybe she went out to look for some food. Let's try looking around the area.
Чего? Если с ежкой синтсю и бить заряженной атакой Беннета, то не откинешься. Так. Что это за звук? О! Это Хайпасия, чё с ней? Опа! Это что за Маленький Тоторо. Она такая миленькая. Ты что такое миленькое? Куда оно исчезло?
There you are. Hypatia, are you alright?
No.
So hungry.
Кажется, она в голодном обмороке.
There's no way we can get her to eat in her current condition. Let's try finding some water first. Huh? Wait. Why does it look super foggy outside all of a
Нет,
sudden?
ей нужна еда и вода.
Anyway, let's go look around.
Зачем? Дайте ей еду и воду. Ей нужна вода. Ну капец он такой. Ну тут умирает человек, но там какой-то туман. Туман это интереснее.
How things out here end up looking like this? What happened? And where are we?
Пайман, не волнуйся.
Really? Oh, maybe you're right. Let's go investigate the area.
А как же? Она там умирает от голода и жажды. А мы просто бежим куда-то от нее. В смысле, врата возрождения. Я чё, в подземелье?
Ух ты,
Какое огромное пространство! В подобных отверстиях всегда есть что-то интересное. Давай найдем способ перебраться туда. Я исключено, что мы найдем там подсказки.
О! В подземельях Сумеры могут обитать прыгучие грибы данного вида. По неизвестным и, возможно, единичным причинам они не принадлежат к созданиям Трилакшаны. Да, что с мечом-то? За что дают? Я прыгаю. Недостаточно. Мне надо вот туда прыгнуть. Куда? О, no! А чё там? Мне теперь интересно, что там. Попробуйте добраться до специального отверстия. Меня заштырило. Воу. What the fuck?
What happened just now? Why'd everything around us suddenly change?
Мы в Инозумском подземелье. Это в Инозуме было. Продолжайте искать путь на верхний уровень дупла. What the fuck? Что это за туман? Так, подземелье смертных встречается первобытный янтарь. Также проход, который заблокирован. 3 куска первобытного янтаря откроют следующий проход. What the fuck? Ладненько, мы просто в каком-то растении огромном, походу. Я не уверена, что все по-настоящему, потому что, скорее всего, мы накурились. Вот. Опять эта ученая что-то там курила свое.
Let's light it up! I'm going in!
Что тут делают хеличурные? Что это такое? О, фак! Что? Я маленькая фея, я маленькая фея. Я лечу куда-то в дупло. What the fuck? Что мне происходит вообще? Почему я стала маленькой феей? Я фея Винкс? Ау, ау, ау! Чё это за фигня? Так. Непон. Пон. О, нет! О, ну! Так, куда нам надо? Вот сюда, за янтарем. Я вижу сундук. Так. Растворяйся. Чур я Стелла. Я хочу быть этой феей цветов. Как ее звали, господи? Флора. Я Флора, короче. Мы опять в Инозуме.
Что за странное место такое? Эй, что с тобой? Кажется, тебе как-то не по себе.
Ну, я составила же цветочек. Чё не так? Чё тебе не нравится? Что тебе не нравится? Я цветочек составила. Хорошо, там надо ближе? Ближе подойти, в смысле? Ебать, меня вштырило просто. Вот это что было? Я видела, как нас развезло. Мы опять что-то нанюхались. Так. Такой... Блин, проклятые ученые и их эти благовония. Накурятся там потом и ебутся в жопы. Ой. Нас опять шторкает. Что тут делаешь?
Strange place. Plotting. You needn't worry about such things. They don't concern you.
Это не настоящий. Да тебя не существует.
Let's light it up. Everybody stand up. Don't waste my time. Let's light it up. Teamwork is trick.
Я вообще не наношу урона, да? Это куда из-под ульты ушел? А как? А как мне... Ему урон не наносится?
Why can't we beat this guy?
Да.
Paimon doesn't get it. We've faced others like him before. What's wrong this time?
Да потому что он не настоящий.
Though you may have managed to avert countless crises before, your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize how weak and powerless you really are.
Я еще не нашел свою сестру.
Your sister. Oh, pitiful traveler. Are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete denial?
Чё ты несешь?
Her Highness has long since forsaken you. Your meager existence
Да ты
in her
фигню
eyes
несешь,
is
я
that
тебе
of
не
an
верю.
annoying bug, only to be stepped upon.
Ты не пизди мне,
Bonds of
пожалуйста.
love and family which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless.
Я тебе не верю, ла-ла-ла.
Today will be your last. Now die!
Ла-ла-ла, ничего не слышу. Ла-ла-ла-ла-ла-ла. Не верю тебе. На-на. Так, что происходит? Куда нас грузит? Всегда спроси, сколько теперь? Мне 26. Ух, фига нас штырнула. Вот это нас, конечно. Странно, что это было. На мгновение мне показалось, что я видел сон. Но я не могу вспомнить, о чем он был.
What do we do?
Не надо такую реакцию давать, пожалуйста.
Anywhere out here. Oh, there she is. Quick, let's see how she's doing.
So sweet.
Чё, блин? Чего, как сладко? Чего?
Well, the good news is that she's still conscious. Hey, why'd you drop her food on the floor like that?
Прости, я немного задумался.
Are you okay? That's really not like you.
Не надо так реагировать, когда я говорю свой возраст.
Make sure she's all right first. Whoa, wait a sec. Look at all this fruit lying around
Почему
her.
они такие
We can put
большие?
that to good use.
Они слишком большие. Вы даете воду и сок хаспии, который находится в полузабытии через некоторое время.
Who's there?
Вот так вот бывает.
Tighnari, is that you?
Я особо не задумываюсь о возрасте обычно.
Huh?
It's okay. You can relax, Hypatia. Tighnari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to give you.
Вы передаете Хайпасии письмо от Игнари. Классная висюлька. Охуенная висюлька.
I
Прекрасно.
see.
Почему
Oh,
такой
you're
вот?
friends of Tighnari. I apologize for all the trouble I've caused you.
Да уж. Чё ты тут
I'm grateful
курила?
that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
Это не мы.
Well, actually, we didn't bring the fruit. It was already here when we arrived. We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around and even some juice dripping from your lips. How did you end up like this anyway?
Oh, really? I
Oh,
seem
really?
to understand now.
Sосед?
All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor.
Замечательный
Must have
сосед.
come by and saw me like this.
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
Удивительное существо, похожее на капусту.
Oh? So you're able to see them too?
Да. Вы рассказываете Пайман и Хайпаси о том, что произошло, когда вы вошли в пещеру. Я опять был в трепах
Hold on a
была.
second, traveler. You say that before we arrived,
Извините,
you
я
saw
не
some
милфа.
mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream? Isn't that a little too crazy to believe?
No, I actually do believe what the traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience once before and ended up scaring my timid little neighbor here. You needn't worry.
They mean you no harm. They
Милфунья.
only dragged you into the
Это
dream
как
because they
Савунья,
hoped to
только
buy themselves a
Милфунья.
little time in order to scurry away.
So, Hypatia, just what kind of creature is your neighbor exactly?
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I do know that they have some sort of deeper connection with the Dendro
Это
Archon.
значит, что я такая же старая, как
I know
Савунья?
this because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Irminsul. Even after I opened my eyes and stopped meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with all the knowledge that I had touched. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed a small figure at the opening of the
О, он
cave.
просто танцует,
In
ему
my
просто
curiosity,
весело.
I began to walk over to the creature. They must have already been used to me living in the cave,
Если старше нас, то
because they didn't
автоматически
seem to mind
милфа.
me
Это так
approaching them.
работает?
They just kept doing whatever they were up to. It wasn't until I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Oh, and then?
And then
ну
I had a
что ж.
dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen. I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me.
Какой хороший сосед.
Yes, no doubt about that.
Если бы мне было 50 или
By the
больше,
way,
то было бы для меня Лоля.
Tainari
Ха.
mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irminsul.
Нет, я не была бы Лоля. Лоля это ребенок, мелкий типа.
Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
Well, if somebody hadn't dropped the food earlier. Anyway, looks like we'll need to prepare something ourselves. Besides, Paimon's getting hungry too.
Да поешь
Let's
земли,
eat first
Паймон,
and
чё
talk about
ты?
Irminsul later.
Подумаешь.
Alright, we're up, traveler. Today's menu will feature sweet
Назвать
madame
Милфу не
and
надо,
a
пожалуйста.
rich veggie soup. You'll love them, Hypatia. They're our specialties after all.
Sounds good.
Я так чувствую себя старой,
I've
как будто
never
мне
tried
40
any
лет.
dishes from other nations before. I certainly look
На
forward to it.
Милфа нет.
It's been so long since I've had a decent meal too.
Уходите в хорни
To
тюрьму.
be honest, the last time had to be when Tainari came to visit.
Это лучше. А где костер? Ходыч. Ой, подождите. Сделать бента? Это как вообще? Вы готовите еду на костре.
All done. Let's use the empty box that Tainari gave us since we already watched it.
Маме Милфа звучит
It
круто.
smells amazing. And the box is a nice touch too. Let's go serve this up and start eating with Hypatia.
Как вам бента с овощным супом? Вот такое не ожидали, конечно, я тоже.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells
Охуенно.
delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my
Как он
forte.
вообще суп туда запихнул? А, он просто... Ну, в миске его запихнул целую курицу. Ладно, хорошо. Наслаждайтесь едой с
Even
Хайпасией.
though everything you mentioned was in Tainari's letter,
Я не умею
it's
готовить
still hard to
суп.
believe you were able to connect with
И
Irminsul
тем более целую куру.
immediately after smelling Spiritborn ale for the first time. It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the academia even lauded me as a genius.
Я не люблю
You
готовить,
should
мне
know that
кажется.
some
Только
researchers
печь
spent their
пироги.
entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make Spiritborn ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to the Dendro Archon's power. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer into the depths of the earth.
Я ничего не понимаю.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll come to a clearer understanding as you remain in Sumeru.
Makes sense. But Paimon's got a question. Why was he sensitive to the smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to his body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, he could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experienced a sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions. Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of Spiritborn Ale would cause adverse effects. Not to worry though, it appears you've already fully recovered. Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon, but unless you're using intentional meditation
Не-не-не, я
techniques,
больше не
the scent of
балуюсь
Spiritborn Ale should no
наркотиками
longer
с
trigger
такими
such
барниол, или
reactions.
как вы это называете.
Well, that's a relief.
Курить мы
I
не
must
будем,
admit,
простите.
I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it worthwhile so long as I could connect with Irminsul at will.
Да-да-да, так все наркоманы говорят,
You're really
конечно.
serious about this whole thing, aren't you?
I am a researcher after all. As a member of the Ritaoist Darshan at the Academia, my main area
Ой,
of
капуста
research is the
пришла.
stars and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies. Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for answers. If
Пока вы
only
меня
my
так
perception
называете,
wasn't
нет.
so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact. I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during this stage.
Вау.
Sages have said that Irminsul
Тебе не кажется,
contains
что это
divine knowledge,
опасно?
and touching such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself. That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa. So knowledge from Irminsul could be super dangerous. Don't you ever feel afraid of the risk, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects. However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby. I believe that being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Dendro Archon. But
Благословление
what's strangest of
капусты.
all is that they're clearly an envoy of the god of wisdom herself. And they have the curious power to make people dream.
What's so strange about that?
Он мне кошмары
Doesn't sound
показал.
so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can ever dream.
Is that true?
Yes, well, to an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do. The sages say that wisdom implies rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical.
Я припоминаю кое-что из своего сна. В нем действительно царила неразбериха.
Yes, if one struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams. The fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams is seen as a blessing by the sages. They believe that Greater Lord Rukadevata, the god of wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep. I was born into a family of scholars in Sumeru City. Ever since I was a child, my parents would always tell me that I'll know I've grown up once I stop dreaming. I studied hard, enrolled as
Мне
a
не
student in
нужен
the
гарем.
academia, and went on to become a researcher. Sure enough, I never dreamed again. But then, on the day I scared the little Aranara, I suddenly saw a dream again. It was incredible. Though I don't exactly remember what I saw, I clearly recall the feeling. I suddenly felt like I was a child again. Back then, I was foolish and ignorant as any youth would be, but I was free of fear. Maybe dreaming isn't as bad as we've made it out to be. Just be sure not to speak of this if you travel to Sumeru City. They'll look at you as if you've lost your mind.
So, do you have any thoughts about the things he saw when he connected with Irminsul?
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any answers as of now. All I can say is that what you saw is a memory contained within Irminsul itself.
Она смотрит на нас так, как будто осуждает.
Won't forget me. What could that possibly mean? If only I could ascend past Satyavada life and begin Paripurna life. I might have some more answers for you.
Но мне ничего от вас не
If you two are
нужно.
ever in the area again, please be sure to come and see me.
Спасибо, Хайпаси.
There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my saviors. Besides, I'm already looking forward to tasting some more of your cooking.
Зовите когда угодно. Продолжили беседовать, а потом легли спать в
Now that we
пещере.
know Hypatia is alright and had the chance to ask her some questions, Paimon thinks it's about time to head back to Gandharvaville.
Подлечились.
Think about it, Tainari. Refusing to join is tantamount to burying your head in the sand. I understand that you're a forest watcher and that it's your duty to combat the effects of withering zones. But isn't it evident that such work is not a lasting solution to the problem? As Sage Kage clearly stated, your presence and guidance in Sumeru City is pivotal in finding a cure for Irminsul. How could you possibly refuse?
Keep your emotions in check, Ghulam. Let's at least listen to Tainari's reason for declining. We're here to invite him to the Academia, not to cause a scene.
Sage Kage, I am truly honored that you came here in person, but I'm afraid I must still decline your invitation. I am merely a forest watcher. How could the great minds of the Haravatat have any need of someone like me?
Well, it turns out that your refusal letter had some implications on your master's reputation. He is a renowned sage of the Immorta, after all. So now I've come here in his stead.
Фу, блин.
I
Не пишите
see.
так. Отвратительно.
Well, I figured that given his temper, he would come here and berate me personally.
У тебя есть одеяло.
Your master is an integral part of this effort, and now he requires your assistance.
And what exactly
Спокойной
does my
ночи.
master need of me, Sage Kage?
You'll know once you've arrived in Sumeru City, that is.
And, how long will I be required to stay?
There's no definite answer as of now.
Do you mean to tell me that, despite coming all the way here to Gandharvaville, you still can't answer the questions I laid out in the letter to my master? If that's the case, then I'm afraid I cannot give you a definite answer either.
Tainari, but you...
Нет, белка застряла.
So be it. Come, Ghulam, we're leaving.
Tainari, what was that all about?
It's nothing. Some people from the Academia wanted me to go to Sumeru City to assist them with a project, but I had to refuse on account of all my responsibilities here. But all that can wait. How did things go with Hypatia?
It was quite the eventful trip, but the main thing is that she's safe and sound. She answered a bunch of questions for us, too.
Very good. Now that the Traveler has made a full recovery,
это за
there
слово?
shouldn't be any reason for you to tarry here longer. I assume you will be heading to Sumeru City, correct?
That's right. We want to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali and ask her for advice. Do you have any idea on how we can find her?
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any advice for you there.
Well, do you at least know anyone we can try asking in Sumeru City?
Let me me think. My trips to Sumeru City have been fairly short, and most of my acquaintances are researchers. Oh, how about this? I'll write you a letter of introduction that you can give to a researcher I know. He's from the Amorta Darshan and is adept at gathering information. Asking him might prove worthwhile. Also, when you enter Sumeru City, you'll probably end up receiving something like this item here. I'm not sure if it will ever come in handy for you, but maybe you can give it a try.
Oh? What is it?
It's called an Akasha Terminal. It's a tool produced by the Academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Some say that this item is the very basis of Sumeru's reputation as the City of Wisdom. Needless to say, this device and its usage fall under the Academia's expertise, so I'll leave it to them to show you how to use it.
Great! Next up, Sumeru City! Oh, but wait, before that...
Нужно попрощаться с Калеей.
That's right! Tainari, we have something important to say to Kale before we leave. Is she doing better now?
Yes, she's doing much better. After being confined to her bed all this time, I thought a little walk would do her some good. Last I saw her, she was taking the path towards the North Crossing. She knew you two would be leaving soon, so she must have wanted to see you off.
Thanks, Tainari. All right, let's go!
Farewell, and good luck to you both.